I saw the movie Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Yes.
Which, aside from sounding like a song title that should have been on one of the first Biffy Clyro albums, was a horror movie starring Amanda Stenberg, Pete Davidson, Maria Bakalova, among others.
Rachel Sennett.
Yes. It's it's kind of it's positioned as a horror movie, but I don't really think that it is. Like, it has that sort of 80s kind of teen slasher feel to it, but it to me it feels more like a comedy. I don't know how you felt about it, because I know you've seen it too, Dave.
Yeah, it's definitely like, it's one of those where it is a comedy that uses horror tropes.
Yeah.
I find it funny in as much as it kind of follows, it's much better than, but it follows the same kind of thing. And did you watch the Netflix reboot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre last year?
No.
It's the same kind of idea of the horror stakes are lowered because the people that are getting killed in this movie are the worst people.
Yes.
So you don't actually have any sympathy for them whatsoever.
Yeah. A bunch of garbage people, for sure.
This is like a slasher movie involving like influencers, basically.
Pretty much. So a bunch of people go to a party at I think is it the son or the grandson of like a really rich douchebag. I can't remember if it's like, if it's Pete Davidson dad or granddad or something who owns this house. So they all kind of end up in this situation. And as with any good horror slasher movie, you know, somebody turns up dead in a horrendously brutal way that could only have been murder, Dave, couldn't it? And then events unfold over the course of the movie, and
doings transpire.
Everyone at some stage loses their damn mind. There's all sorts of weird interpersonal shit going on between the guests of the party. And no spoilers, but I will say there is a moment towards the end of this movie which, for me, lifted it from like a sort of 5-6 out of 10, like, yeah, you know, this is good fun, it's silly, to like 7.5 out of 10. The sort of like, I'm not going to say it's a twist ending, but the explanation as to how some of the events transpired in this film,
how the dominoes started to fall. It
is one of the best usages of a sort of social media / you know, current sort of trend application or product that I've ever seen in a movie. Like, it was done to perfection. You know, we might look back in 10 years time at this, like, you know, the kids that watch this now, you know, as they grow up and maybe, you know, sort of want to go back for nostalgia, and they're like, kind of like whenever I watch a movie from like the mid 2000s and people are like, oh, you got MySpace, and I'm like, oh god. So there is that, but it is very genius in the way it's kind of detailed, and I think Pete Davidson just is an absolute star douchebag in this movie.
It's genuinely, like, I was saying this to Ian, friend of the show, Ian, on Twitter during the week, like, 5-star casting.
Pitch perfect casting.
That guy in that role.
Yeah, absolutely world class. He's very funny in the movie. I like Amanda. Amanda Stenberg is she's just brilliant. Like, there's like a magnetic energy about her in a lot of the stuff that I've kind of seen her in before, and she was like, you know, just fantastic in the movie as well. So I would definitely recommend it. It's very kind of switch your brain off. Like Dave says, you don't get too emotionally attached to any of the characters because they're all kind of dicks in their own way.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
Yeah, you gradually find out how much of a dick everyone is through the course of the movie, and obviously they all turn on each other and events transpire. But
I gotta say, as like it is a funny movie, but like as the real comic relief in it, I mentioned her earlier, but Rachel Sennett is brilliant in it, as like she's just like the party girl who's like really into like she's got her own, like, is it a true crime podcast?
Yes.
Oh no, sorry, no, it's a sitting down and talking to your friends podcast, you know, where she like interviews a new smart person every week, which is like everybody's interview podcast gimmick.
One of my favorite lines in the movie though is when somebody says that they only hate listen to a podcast.
Yeah. I gotta say, you know, I as a self-aware man, I do love when shots are taken at the podcasters in movies.
Shout out to our hate listeners, by the way. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Look, we'll take the numbers whatever way they come, my friends.
I feel like the hate listeners that Garrett attracts is more than the hate listeners anyone else attracts.
Wow.
And I mean that as a compliment.
You are so unlikable that you're dragging all these hate listeners to our podcast. Thanks.
Garrett, you are... what I actually mean is, as a compliment, is you are box office no matter what, my friend. Whether people love or hate you, people have got to listen to Garrett Kidney.
The John Cena of podcasting, they call him.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I think Rachel Sennett is great in this. Like, I think she steals the show for me. I huge fan of her since I saw Shiva Baby last year, which I sent to Jack this week, which I think I described in my my Letterboxd review at the time as the funniest panic attack I've ever had, because it's the most like awkward and uncomfortable, hilarious movie I've seen in years. And I don't like it's so hard to describe. It's an excellent movie and she's brilliant in it. But yeah, she's great. Movie's really, really enjoyable. I just had I don't know if I'll go see it again in the cinemas, but I think it's going to get added to my fun Halloween movies rotation.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I don't even know that it specifically... That's the thing as well. I kind of went into it thinking it was going to be a bit spooky. I mean, there's a couple like jumpy bits, but to me, this is just a straight like dark comedy movie with like a modern take on an 80s slasher aesthetic.
It kind of fits more, I don't know if you'd agree, I think I said this to you, I think it fits more beside like a Thoroughbreds or a Heathers than it does a Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I would say Heathers is a good comp because it's filled full of self-serious young people who are just way over dramatizing like basic life stuff, which is I think people are played in this as they're not played as teens really, are they? I kind of read it as early 20s. But yeah, I think Heathers tonally is a good comp for this.